the difference between a school in the top 2% versus a school in the top 5% is actually larger than the difference between a school in the top 5% and a school that's in the median here by a lot. And so if we think that the reason why these differences persist is that the elite schools are just that much more productive than other schools, the question becomes, why is the difference like largest at the top? Right, and so this is taking this whole like income inequality lens, so there's been a lot of discussion of income inequality in the US, and saying, well, what if we turn that lens onto universities and trying to understand who's getting resources, and is this an equitable distribution? Is this an efficient distribution of resources? And so that's the whole thrust behind this project. I'm working on this with a graduate student here at Clemson, and a colleague of mine who's a professor at the University of Chicago. And so this is one of the things that we're looking at. The second project that I want to tell you about, you guys actually know a lot about it. You worked on it. So remember that assignment that I gave you, the theoretical exercise? And so the motivation for that came from a paper that I'm writing with a faculty colleague at the Wharton School. And the observation is the following. If you look at elite schools, we're just going to take the schools that typically tend to be ranked in the top 5. So Harvard, Princeton, Stanford, Yale. And you look at the number of students that they've enrolled. So like Princeton, for example, has been reasonably flat. You see the slight uptick over here. For Yale, it's been incredibly flat from 1985 to 2010, right? And for Harvard, like a very similar thing. For Stanford, the same thing, with a few bumps up and down. And like just remember like what's happening with the number of students that are applying to schools. Like the total enrollment in the United States is just going up like very linearly. And if you look moreover at the number of students that are applying to these universities, you see that the number of students applying to these elite schools over the past 25 years is almost doubled from about 15,000 in 1990 to like 40,000 in 2015. And so what rationalizes the fact that demand for schools have gone up tremendously, the number of students applying in general has gone up, but then the supply is relatively fixed. And so that was the assignment that I had you guys working on. And the simple model is that if schools care about their relative prestige, everybody can be better off if they all expand it. But then if I expand and my peer doesn't expand, I'm seen as being less selective than my peer. And so I can get a hit to my utility, and so I might not expand, even though everybody might be better off because all of the schools have not coordinated on that. So that was the goal of the exercise there. And that very simple model that you solved in your theoretical exercise is exactly, that's like the basic model that we use for this paper here, right? And we add some extensions on that. But what I want you to take away from that is that you were able to work on the type of a question that would be in a paper that will be published in an academic journal. And so you have it within you to use the tools and the skills that you've acquired in this course to be able to do that kind of work, right? Now, if I told you on the front end, like this is what you were doing, you may say, oh, no, this is beyond me, I can't do this. But on the back end, like after you've actually gone through it, you see that you actually develop the skills and resources to do that. We have about 5 minutes remaining. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to distribute. This is like very similar to question 3 on the. This is very similar to question 3 on the return. And I want each person to do this and to LaTeX up like an answer sheet to it. This is just to make sure that you understand how to do the separating equilibrium and hand it in on Thursday. So the exchange is the following: like we didn't penalize you on the midterm for the mistake that was in the solution key, but I want to make sure that everybody understands it. So do this and hand this in for next class. And then, Shannon, can I have the materials? And what I'll do is, I will just call you guys up individually to like get the midterm. So Gabby. Connor Herron. Jeffrey. Claire Johnson.
I don't know.
Thursday.
Bailey. Jenna. Is Jenna here?
Oh, you have it.
Okay. Ali Zimmerman. Tim. Joseph Silvas. Ali Jen. Ali Jen. Anna Reagan. Andrew Sheffield.
You had it right to change that.
Mike Robinson.
I never do that. I did that too. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Mike Robinson. Atura. Anna McLean. Tom Carroll. Andrew Russell. Derek Gillespie. Alex Beltran. Hannah O'Leary. Chris Noel. Charles Colbert. Michael Wagner. Neil is not here. Neil is not here. Alex James. Jenna Taylor. Jordan Ledwin. Is Jordan here? Okay. So, thank you. So Shannon went over the midterm on, Shannon, did everybody hand in their evaluations, original evaluations into this, like earlier in the class, I asked you to fill out like the course evaluation. Everyone did? So that would be great. So Shannon went over the midterms, and so what were the statistics? So the mean grade, I think, was something close to like a 75, which is like the solid B. The max was a 98, and the standard deviation, I think, was 50. And so when I looked at that, I was pleased.
Is this like the grad students and the undergrad ones? Like,
So there are three graduates. There are three graduate students in the course, and like this is graded on an absolute scale, so there's no curve, right? So in your syllabus, what you would see is that from an 85 to 100 is an A, and I think from a 70 to 84 is a B, and so like in 15 unit increments, right? And so I don't think that the graduate students are skewing the distribution, and the distribution is just like it's a fixed grading scale. So that way you don't feel as if you're competing with other students. And like there were undergraduates that scored very well in the class. I think the highest score was from undergraduate. So the standard deviation was 15 points. And so the things that what I liked about the test was you guys were able to demonstrate a knowledge of the material. I said to you that I wanted to write the test so that it's possible to get 100, and two people came very close. I think one person got 97, one person got 98. There were a couple of other, there were a number of B grades in the course. And the way that I think about the learning process too, is the learning process is cumulative. And so if you feel like, man, like I really wish I did better on the midterm, well, I'll make you this deal. If you score better on the midterm than the final, than the midterm, your final grade can replace your midterm grade. Because my perspective is that at the end of the course, like what I really want to measure is like where you are learning-wise with respect to that. I think that each of you has the capacity not just to pass this class, but to get an A in this class. There's an absolute grading scale. And I will be fair to you in terms of the assessments. I'll be fair to you in terms of letting you know what I will be assessing. And so continue to work hard. Those sheets that I handed out for you, please complete those and pass those back into us. LaTeX can pass it into us on Thursday, because I want to make sure that you understand the separate equity, because that question will come in on the final. All right. Have a great day, guys.